West is proudly presented by AT&T Uverse TV.
The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are the West.
Your Rangers started off the series with the Red Sox with a night where everything was working. An 18-hit attack, backed by another shutout from the pitching staff. Ian Kinsler started the night off with a single, and he has started off the season red hot. He has set the tone for the Rangers' early success, and it's reflected in his numbers and the team's position in the standings. Tonight, he'll once again lead the Rangers as they meet the Red Sox. Coming up next. Under clear skies with mild temperatures, the scene is at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Ian Kinsler, Elvis Andrus, and the Rangers trying to continue their winning ways against Boston. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Grease, Steve Busby. Glad you could come along on this Saturday night of Ranger baseball. It promises to be an outstanding evening here at Rangers Ballpark. And one of the main reasons for the Rangers is Ian Kinsler. He has been nothing short of sensational.
He really has, Buzz. The offense as a group really hasn't gotten hot yet. A lot of guys haven't hit their stride yet, but one guy who has hit his stride is Ian. He's been a tremendous leadoff hitter. He's hit with power. He's walked. Hasn't struck out very much, hitting line drives from right field to left field. He's in a 9-game hitting streak where he's hitting .460. He has 14 multi-hit games already. He's third in the American League with a .342 batting average. So he is off to a great start. If he can stay hot and the rest of the guys start getting hot, then we'll start to see the offense click.
He certainly sets the tone very well for this Ranger offense. An offense that busted loose last night for 18 hits. Now, Nelly Cruz, Adrian Beltre, and company getting ready to take on the Boston Red Sox. Game 2 of this 3-game set coming up next on Fox Sports Southwest. Ford Southwest is brought to you by Ford. Take the EcoBoost Challenge at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. by AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. And by Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. Well, a near-capacity crowd on hand as Alexi Ogando and the Rangers taking the field. They get set to take on the Boston Red Sox after winning 7-0 last night. And before we get underway, let's head down to the field. Emily Jones is waiting down there.
Well, Buzz, nice to see the offense bust out last night. You mentioned the 7 runs that they scored, especially against a very good Red Sox team. But regardless of the results at the plate, the guys in the clubhouse say it's important to separate the offensive and defensive aspects of their game.
Sometimes more difficult than other times. Depends on the situation. If you're up in an important situation at plate, on the offensive side and you don't succeed, you definitely want to wipe that out as fast as you can, get ready for defense, but sometimes it's tough.
Ian Kinsler with tonight's Geico quote of the game, and so many times we talk about it, guys, having that short-term memory also important in baseball. Definitely keeping those two aspects of the game separate. It's very important in doing that, guys.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, that's a very good point. Alexi Ogando back to the plate. Jacoby Ellsbury leading things off. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. So quickly underway here. Alexi Ogando at 2-2 with a .338 earned run average. 2-1 the count.
And we'll look at the scouting report for Alexi. He's 2-2 on the season. This will be his 7th start. His first 3 starts were much better than his last 3 starts. He struggled in his last 3 starts. 5.87 ERA. 5 of his 6 starts have been on the road. He's only had 1 home start. That was on April 8th. That was against Tampa Bay, and that was a win.
3-1 pitch. Popped up down the left field line. Long run for Andrus. Elvis there and in fair territory. Makes the catch as he steps into foul ground. A lot of range for Elvis Andrus to get over there under that pop fly, and that is out number 1. And we'll take a look at the rest of the Red Sox lineup. Jacoby Ellsbury popped out. Shane Victorino is next. Dustin Pedroia bats 3rd. David Ortiz is the cleanup hitter. Mike Napoli at first, bats 5th. Daniel Nava is in left field. Jared Saltalamacchia behind the plate, batting 7th. Will Middlebrooks is the 3rd baseman. And Stephen Drew, the shortstop, bats 9th. Umpiring crew tonight, the crew chief, Jerry Davis, calling the balls and strikes. Ryan Knight at first, Dan Iasonia at 2nd, Mark Carlson at 3rd. And here is Shane Victorino, and he looks at strike 1. Victorino at 289, the switch hitter up there from the left side against the right-handed firing Alexi Ogando. Broken bat, weakly hit ground ball to Ian Kinsler. Nice big second hop, and Ian fires on to first, 2 outs.
Yeah, good pitching right there. Fastball, changeup.
Echo brings you the Ranger defense tonight. Leonis Martin in left, Greg Gentry in center, and Nelly Cruz in right. We'll explain that lineup to you here in just a minute. Moreland at first, Kinsler and Andrews up the middle. Beltre at 3rd, Pierzynski behind the plate. Alexi Ogando on the mound. The reason Leonis Martin is out in left field tonight, taking the place of where normally David Murphy would be against a right-handed pitcher. David Murphy coming down with flu-like symptoms. Not feeling well at all, so he couldn't answer the bell. Pitch to Pedroia is a bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Second baseman for the Red Sox, batting .304. He is 0 for 4 in his experiences against Alexi Ogando. Fouls that pitch back, and the count is even.
Alexi has pitched well at home. We just mentioned he's only pitched once here so far this season. But in his career, his ERA at home is .314, counting relief appearances and starts.
To right field. Long run for Cruz toward the corner. Now he slows down, makes the grab, and that'll do it. So Alexi Ogando, a 1-2-3 first inning, 9 pitches total. We will head to the bottom of the first. Red Sox nothing. Rangers coming up. Rangers coming about, and here's the lineup that Ron Washington is putting out there against John Lackey. Ian Kinsler leads off. The shortstop Elvis Andrus is next. Then it's DH Lance Berkman. Adrian Beltre, the third baseman, match cleanup. A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. He's hitting fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Nelson Cruz. Mitch Moreland at first base. Craig Gentry in center. And Leonis Martin will bat ninth and play left field tonight.
John Lackey, check out his scouting report. He's had 2 starts. They've gone pretty well. 2.61 ERA in those 2 starts. Activated from the DL. He had a right bicep strain in his first start. Then went on the DL, came back and made 1 start since then. 36 career starts against the Rangers. That's the most against any team. Of course, he was with the Angels, and because we play our division more than any other division, that would stand to reason.
Ian Kinsler, a drive to left field. The left fielder Nava doesn't even see it. Way back, goodbye.
Nava still doesn't know where it is.
Yeah, so I turned around and looked about 7 rows deep, because that's where Ian Kinsler left it. Leadoff home run for Ian Kinsler, 1-0 Rangers.
That ball was in the stands. He was still looking for it. That's the way to start the game off. Get a fastball to hit and juice one.
Boy, and he did that. And Ian Kinsler and John Lackey, if you'll remember, have a bit of a history against each other. It dates back several years. And Ian Kinsler fired the first shot across the bow here tonight. Now Elvis Andrus takes a strike to the outside corner.
Well, there really isn't anything about the night right now that would cause the left fielder to lose the ball. It's not like it's dusk where the sky isn't blue. It's kind of gray and the ball blends in with the sky. It's high, so there's no sun issue. For some reason, he just never picked this ball up. Of course, it didn't really matter. That's a good one to lose right there, because it didn't hurt you.
That's a good decoy if that was what your intention was, but he wasn't decoying anybody. That's
he's still looking.
That's totally lost. What Elvis pops it foul.
There it is. There it is.
By the way, that's the 14th home run for Ian Kinsler against Red Sox pitching. And he has just pummeled the Sox.
I think Daniel Nava is out in left field going, boy, I hope I picked the next one up better than that.
Yeah. That'd have been a line drive. I would have gotten buried right here. Chopper up the middle. Drew behind the bag, off balance throw. A nice play by Stephen Drew, the shortstop. One away as Elvis is thrown out by his counterpart, and now Lance Berkman will come up.
John Lackey has had a start on the 6th against Toronto. That's when he hurt his arm, the bicep strain that he had. He had struck out 8 4 1/3. He was throwing a nice ball game. He came back and beat Houston on the 28th. 6 innings, 1 run, a couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. That was his first win since August of 2011, which happened to be against the Rangers.
1 ball, no strikes to Berkman. Lance has only had 3 at-bats against John Lackey. He has a base hit against him. The rest of the Rangers and A.J. Pierzynski, too, have had a significant number of at-bats. Lance battling a little bit of an offensive downturn. Still able to get on base, though, with the walk, if not the base hit. And that pitch inside. It is 2-1. Mentioned the 14th home run for Kinsler against the Red Sox. It's also his 4th against John Lackey in his career, and that spans 33 at-bats. Check swing, he went around. Count is now even at 2-2. And one final note on Ian Kinsler. That's his 28th career leadoff home run. Far and away tops in Ranger franchise history. Lackey to the wind, the right-hander with a 2-2 pitch. And the count has gone full. Well, another good eye by Lance Berkman. He's trying to get aboard with 1 out. Adrian Beltre, the Ranger cleanup man, waiting in the on-deck circle. Lackey and Saltalamacchia having a little difficulty getting together for the 3-2 pitch. Now it's on the way, and Berkman fouls it away. Now this ball game, even before the big crowd had settled into their seats, got off to a flying start with Ian Kinsler going after the first pitch and sending it into the sun-drenched bleachers in left field. Last night's crowd, almost 42,500. Tonight looks to be even larger. Call strike 3. Berkman on his way to first has to make a right turn and head to the dugout as he's called out by Jerry Davis.
Very good pitcher's pitch. Not a real good pitch to hit down and in like that. Lance thought it might be a ball. Pitch track showed it just caught the low inside corner. First strikeout for Lackey. You know, we talked about Lackey against the Rangers has an ERA over 6. But that doesn't mean every 9 innings he pitches he gives up 6 runs. Along the way, there's been some pretty good games that he's pitched. He's won 12 games against the Rangers, and they've had their way with him a few times, and he's also had some really good games against the Rangers. Doesn't throw quite as hard as he did when he was in his prime with the Angels, but he can still tune it up there, 89 to 92. He's got a good hard breaking ball. And he's a competitor out there, boy. He's a fiery guy.
Yes, he is.
He wants to win, and he will definitely compete.
Out of Abilene and UTA, University of Texas Arlington. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Beltre. Adrian, a couple of home runs against John Lackey in his career, but hitting just 196. Now Beltre asked for timeout. Lackey okays the sign, goes to the wind. And a chopper foul by Beltre. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Beltre, of course, with 3 big RBI last night on 1 swing of the bat. He had a 4-hit night. First Ranger to have a 4-hit evening this year for the ball club. Adrian, 3 more RBI, 15 for the season now. Ooh, he had a pitch up where he likes it and fouled it straight back. Hanging breaking ball.
That looked like the breaking ball he hit up for a home run a while back.
A little grimace on his face after swinging through that.
Hit that out of the ballpark. The first White Sox game, the one the Rangers won big. Knocked in the 9th and 10th runs with it.
Reaches for one and pulls it on the ground to Middlebrooks at third. And the throw, no, it pulls Dappily off. The swipe tag missed Beltre, and Beltre is going to be aboard on what will probably be an error on Will Middlebrooks.
Yeah, Middlebrooks made good plays against the Rangers. Don't know what he does against the rest of the league, but he's played a decent third base against the Rangers. This one, routine play, fielded it cleanly, had plenty of time to throw it, just kind of sailed toward the home plate side of first base on him. Don't know if he had a good grip on the ball or not. But there's the swipe tag, and he missed him. That's a good call by Brian Knight at first base.
Yeah.
So many times the umpire gets blocked out and just assumes that the tag was made. But Brian got into position to where he could see the gap between the glove and the uniform and made the right call.
A.J. Pierzynski takes a breaking ball for strike 1. And it was ruled, by the way, an error on the throw by Middlebrooks. That's the 3rd error of this series so far for the Red Sox, and they came in just about dead even with the Rangers for 5th in the American League as far as the best fielding teams. And they have dropped back into 7th now. 1 ball, 1 strike to A.J. Pierzynski at 276. 4 home runs, 11 driven in. Oh, there's a broken bat, little looper to third. Middlebrooks on the run this time and throws out Pierzynski. Well, the Rangers capitalize, though. Ian Kinsler's leadoff home run. And the Rangers get on the board. They strand 1 on an error. We'll go to the second. 1-0 Texas on Fox Sports Southwest. The Red Sox get the Rangers out to an early 1-0 lead as we head to the second inning. Alexi Ogando back to the mound. He'll face David Ortiz to start things off, and pours a strike right through there. Ortiz 1 for 4 last night, extended his 2-season hitting streak to 23 games. He's hit safely in all 11 this year. It's that pitch a bit low. Ortiz, of course, out for the first 15 games or so with that Achilles tendon problem. 465 the average since rejoining the Red Sox. Fly ball hit pretty well to left field. Going back is Martin, up against the wall, and he can't get it. It's off the screen. Backed up by Gentry, and into second with a leadoff double is David Ortiz. Martin not quite getting back to the wall before the ball got there, and leaped into the wall, and he came up a little sore on that elbow.
Yeah, that's that kind of a ball. You've got to sprint to the wall. If you get near the warning track and then kind of drift and look, that makes it a little bit more difficult to play. It's a tough ball anyway. It's right over his head near the wall. Got a little bit turned around. Those balls tend to slice just a little bit back toward the left field foul line. Didn't really sprint to a spot and then look up. But in his defense, that's not an easy play.
Now here's Mike Napoli. Strike one to the outside corner. Napoli facing his former battery mate in Alexi Ogando. 0 for 4 against Ogando is Napoli. Nap with 31 RBI. That is tops in the major leagues. Also the 22 extra base hits. 1-1 the count. There your American League leaders. Miguel Cabrera now just 1 behind Napoli. Chris Davis 2 behind Mike Napoli. Davis out of for a little while. He had turned ankle. 2-1 as Napoli takes the pitch outside. Baltimore, by the way, defeated the Angels this afternoon 5-4 in 10 innings. Oakland lost 4-2 to the Yankees, so the Rangers a chance to pick up some ground on those two rivals. 2-2 the count. You see last night the Oakland and Seattle and Anaheim or Los Angeles and the Rangers all had shutouts. They all threw shutouts against the opposition. Fouled away to the right. Napoli 0 for 4 yesterday. This is the 6th game of a 10-game road trip for the Red Sox. And Napoli so far 4 out of 17. Red Sox stopped in Toronto prior to coming down here. Got him swinging. Breaking ball that hung up a little bit, and Napoli could not handle it. That is out number 1. Let's say hello to Jim Knox. Jim.
All right, Buzz, appreciate it. Ranger fans out in full force. Sellout crowd tonight, having a good time so far at Community Corner this evening. We're talking about the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation. They want to support your baseball and softball organizations. To find out more about this process and possibly a grant, log on to texasrangers.com/foundation. Buzz?
All right, Jim, thank you. Daniel Nava now will step in. Switch hitting outfielder for the Red Sox. He takes strike 1. Nava did not play in last night's ball game. Johnny Gomes had the start in left field. Nava, modest 2-game hitting streak going. For the year, those numbers: 5 home runs, 18 driven in.
Pretty good numbers. Nava's a guy who started in the Golden Baseball League, independent league. Was the most valuable player of that league his first year in 2007. Signed with the Red Sox, was never drafted. Not the normal career path for a Major League Baseball player. Spent quite a bit of time in the minor leagues. He's 30 years old. Last year he got to the big leagues with the Red Sox and got some playing time.
Up the middle, that's a base hit. Being waved around is Ortiz. Here comes the throw from Gentry, and he can't cut it off. Ortiz stands crossing home plate, and the Red Sox have come back to tie it at 1. Now, a throw anywhere near home plate gets Ortiz easily. Big Papi still not running it all well, and he was asked to score and did just that. Well, the Rangers now tied with the Red Sox.
Yeah, generally, you don't see someone thrown out on this kind of a ball. Craig's got a strong arm. He just doesn't make a very good throw. Ball is way off. If that throw, again, you're right, Buzz, if that throw was halfway between where it's caught and home plate, Ortiz is out.
So Nava drives in his 19th run of the year. He's at first base now, and Jared Saltalamacchia takes strike 1.
A lot of the sliders that Alexi's throwing have been belt high and up. That one in particular to Nava took advantage of it.
Saltalamacchia, a .222 hitter. Switch hitting catcher, former Ranger. Gondo peering in for the sign for his 25th pitch of the night. Instead, it's a toss to first. Gondo checks Nava, and to the plate he comes. Ripping a foul back by Saltalamacchia. Saltalamacchia this year hitting much better against right-handed pitching, .254. Against left-handers, .077. Just 1 for 13. One and two the count. Got him swinging.
There's the one you're talking
Good
about.
breaking ball there.
That one broke sharply and down.
The strikeout number 2 for Ogando with 2 outs. Will Middlebrooks will come up.
A lot of hitters are going to miss that breaking ball because it looks like a strike. And breaking sharply down, tough to make contact with it too.
Now here's Middlebrooks. Power numbers pretty impressive, but the batting average down below the Mendoza line. In the first pitch, the breaking ball that gets by A.J. Pierzynski, so into scoring position is Daniel Nava on the wild pitch. Not much A.J. can do on that one. That thing is way outside. Ball skipped up, went straight up in the air. 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Middlebrooks currently 0 for 9. Yeah, batting average down at 193 as he enters play tonight. And took something off the breaking ball and hits the outside corner.
Middlebrooks has 6 home runs. He hit 3 of them in one game earlier in the season. A little bit prone to the strikeout. He struck out 35 times, 109 at bats.
Ogando back to him. Another breaking ball that finds the inside corner. 2-2. Alexi said a check of second base, the 2-2 pitch. Did he go around? No, he did not. The appeal down to first base, and Brian Knight said nope, he didn't go. So the count is full to Middlebrooks. He is trying to extend the inning as you get a look at that check swing.
I think that's a good call. Looked like he stopped it in time. Definitely started it.
The payoff pitch. It's out of play on the right side. Middlebrooks hitting in the number 8 slot. If he gets aboard to extend the inning, Stephen Drew, the shortstop, will be next. Ogando now up over 20 pitches in this inning. This will be his 23rd of this frame. Another 3-2 is on the way. And that's top foul. A lot of breaking balls here in the early going for Ogando. Looks like that still is the pitch that he has the best control of. He hasn't shown consistent command of that fastball tonight. That's been a kind of a recurring theme for Ogando in the early part of this season. That's out of play down the right side. Pretty good fastball there at 94. Middlebrooks back into the box. Ogando studying the signs from Pierzynski. Right-handers ready. Little looper to right field. This is going to hang up for Nelly Cruz. He puts the brakes on and makes the catch. That'll do it. But the Red Sox come up with a run on a pair of hits, a double and a single. They strand one. Bottom of the second coming up. Red Sox 1, Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Your favorite technological advancement in baseball TV broadcasting. And you can't say the mute button. That just doesn't quite get it. Anyway, your choices that we gave you are the Fox box, which is that little box up there in the upper left-hand corner. It gives you the count and score and all that stuff. If that's what it is, go hashtag FS Foxbox. Pick one of the three options. Go to Twitter and pick your option, and we'll give you the results later on in the game. And there's also the Fox pitch tracker. Shows you where the pitches were before they were either hit or missed. Out of play. And the super slow-mo. Give you all those great shots at very, very slowed down action. You can see exactly when the tag was applied and how correct or incorrect the umpires were with their call. 0-2 the count to Nelly Cruz. Got him swinging. Cut fastball outside, and here's an example of the super slow-mo. There you go. The one out as Cruz has gone on strikes. Now Mitch Moreland will step to the plate. Mitch, of course, a big night last night, has that batting average now well up there. He's at 271. As Lackey fires strike one to him. Moreland 3 for 4 last night, 2 for 7 lifetime against John Lackey. Boy, Mitch in this homestand hit .462. Took something off the breaky ball. Lackey just missed outside. It is 1 ball and 1 strike. Last couple of weeks, Mitch Moreland doing a lot of great work with that bat. Pops this one up. Third base side in fair territory. Middlebrooks. That's out number 2.
Well, Lackey's made a lot of good pitches since the first fastball that he threw for would have been strike 1 if Ian didn't hit it out of the ballpark. Since that time, he's made a lot of good pitches. Had a couple of strikeouts, a couple of balls hit off the handle.
A base is empty 2 away. Here's Craig Gentry. Gentry at 220. Drove in his 3rd run of the year last night. And that plated the first Ranger run in that 7-0 victory. Craig 2 out of 9 for this homestand. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lackey back to the plate. 1-2. Look at the crowd. Not many empty seats now. This Saturday night here at Rangers ballpark in Arlington, jam-packed with Ranger fans. And they're sprinkled in a few Red Sox fans. 1-2 pitch. Got him looking. Gentry just leaned on the pitch, the outside corner, and that's it. Lackey gets a couple of strikeouts in the inning, sends the Rangers down in order. On to the 3rd we go. 1-1 Rangers and Red Sox on Fox Sports Southwest. On for the 2013 MLB All-Star Game in New York. And you can cast up to 25 ballots at TexasRangers.com. Help send your favorite Rangers to this year's All-Star Game by voting early and voting often at TexasRangers.com. 9 Rangers on that ballot this year. And go to TexasRangers.com and help those guys get a free trip to New York. Stephen Drew, the number 9 man in the Red Sox order, leading things off here in the 3rd inning. A 1-1 ball game. And Drew grounds one that Moreland cuts off. Onto Ogando covering. That is out number 1. No, Moreland Ogando team up for out number 1. And before Ellsbury comes in, let's take a Mazda game break. Here's Rick Renner. Thank you, Rick. Well, the Rangers, if they can win tonight, make that 2.5 games, then add a little breathing room. Ellsbury popped out to short. His first time up. He takes outside, ball one. It was a 3-1 pitch that Ogando kind of went up the ladder. And Ellsbury skied it to Elvis Andrus down the left field line. The 1-0 pitch. Got that in the back door. It's 1-1.
A good changeup from Ogando.
Ellsbury, a .283 hitter as he awaits. And Ogando offers to him, low and inside.
Got a couple of birthdays. Marvin Dumenel from Center Point, Texas, is 93 years old. He's got 18 family members gathered tonight to watch the Rangers and celebrate his birthday. And Quentin Chomness is 82. Quentin's from Tyler, Texas. Big Ranger fan. Watches a lot of games. Well, happy birthday to Marvin. Happy birthday to Quentin. 93 and 82 years old today.
Congratulations. Hope you all are enjoying it's a birthday cake and a little Ranger baseball too to go along with it.
Yep, and great weather.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd take a whole bunch of nights like this, but then it'd be as crowded as Southern California if it was like that all the time around here. 2-2 pitch. Loop to right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. And Ellsbury aboard with a 1-out single, and the Major League stolen base leader. Dangerous man here with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Well, Ogando's going to have to do a pretty good job of keeping Ellsbury close at first.
Ellsbury did a nice job of waiting. Good concentration on that curveball.
There are the stolen base leaders in the American League. Ellsbury leading Coco Crisp by 3 and Nate McLouth. Shane Victorino, a ground ball to second in the 1st inning. Takes outside for ball 1. Victorino, a .286 hitter. Switch hitter up there from the left side. Rangers at double play depth looking for that 2-ball. And Alexi going to work on Jacoby Ellsbury. First base coach over there, Arnie Baylor, over to talk to Ellsbury. Going through the series of signs down at 3rd base, Brian Butterfield. But Baylor making sure that Ellsbury has the information on Alexi Ogando's move. There he goes. Pitches outside. The throw to second is not in time. On the first base side of the bag, he's out. But Elvis had to pick that on the shortstop side. By the time he swiped back around him, Jacoby Ellsbury in with his 12th stolen base of the year.
Yeah, AJ did a nice job getting rid of the ball quickly. Strong throw, just wrong side of the bag. And when you've got a fast runner, you have to rush it to get it down there. Almost got him even with the ball being on the shortstop side of second base. I had a shot at him.
So Ellsbury gets himself in scoring position. 2 balls, no strikes the count, and Victorino takes high. It's 3-0. And Elvis did about all he could as far as trying to swipe back quickly. A good tight shot of it. 3 balls, no strikes, the count to Victorino. Belt high fastball. It's 3-1. Victorino hitting second in the order. He'll be followed by the second baseman, Dustin Pedroia. Boston, you can see, still right at 300 runners in scoring position. They have gone 1 for 2 in that capacity tonight. Good breaking pitch. And that fills the count. So Alexi showing the ability to throw something other than a fastball in fastball counts tonight. His fastball command still isn't where he would like for it to be, but he and A.J. Pierzynski trying to work around that. Ogando peering in, looking at the series of signs, picks out the one he wants, and he's ready. Payoff pitch. And Victorino fouls it straight back. Went with the fastball, got it off the plate inside. And Victorino fought it off. I guess this would be a situation with Victorino, right now the left-handed hitter up there. You do have first base open. You got a right-handed hitting Dustin Pedroia in the on-deck circle. You have to wonder. Well, the pitch selection will tell you exactly what they think of the little slump that Pedroia is in. Breaking ball inside, and they will take their chances with Pedroia. Normally, you would much rather face Victorino and go after him and then worry about Pedroia with a base open. But in this case, Alexi Ogando chose to go with the 3-2 hook. Couldn't get Victorino to swing at it.
Yeah, if I'm the pitcher, I'm facing Victorino every chance I can instead of Pedroia. You know, Pedroia's been an MVP, 300 hitter. Victorino, he's hitting from the left side, but I'm going after him.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Pedroia's got a few labels on his wall.
First pitch to Pedroia is outside. Pedroia, fly ball to right field back in the first inning. Red Sox right in the middle of the pack as far as grounding into double plays. 21 times this year they have hit the 2-ball. Got Ellsbury and Victorino second and first. And Ogando back to the plate. Throws a strike with the breaking ball. 1-1 to Pedroia.
Alexi had a nice quick first inning, somewhere around 10 pitches, but he's labored a little bit since then with his pitch count. One hopper to shortstop will help his pitch count out.
Pretty good pitch there. It's 1-2. And that's been the one that he's gone to, the breaking ball, and usually the slower breaking ball as the pitch when he wanted to throw a strike, had to throw a strike. He's gone with that pitch more than the fastball.
The other thing with getting Victorino out and then getting Pedroia out is that you don't have to face Ortiz with anybody on base.
Right. Time called now as Pedroia backed out of the batter's box.
Nobody in the league is hotter than Ortiz his first 40-45 at bats this year. You'd rather have him leading off the inning than batting with anybody on base right here. So maybe Pedroia hit into a double play for us.
The 1-2 pitch got him swinging. Pedroia asking home plate umpire Jerry Davis if he foul tipped it, and Davis said, nope, you are gone. No more for you, son.
Well, if you have to ask me, my answer is no. Yeah, Pedroia with kind of an uncharacteristic at bat for him, chasing that breaking ball way out of the strike zone. That's generally not the type of swing you'll see him take.
Well, now you've got Big Papi, David Ortiz, up there. Doubled off the wall in left field his first time up. Has Ellsbury at second, Victorino at first. Rangers with the overshift on, and he goes after the first pitch and skies to left field. Backing up is Martin right at the edge of the warning track. He puts it away, and Alexi Ogando does a nice job of working around a difficult spot. No runs a hit, and 2 men are left. Bottom of the third coming up. Rangers 1, Red Sox 1. Fox Sports Southwest. Baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Ford. Take the EcoBoost Challenge at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Jack in the Box, where the Chipotle Chicken Club Combo is back. Now we played 2.5. Rangers and Red Sox even at 1. Leonis Martin starting things off, shows bunt and takes a strike. Boy, there is 2 handfuls of ice cream.
That'll make a baseball game worthwhile.
Yes, it will.
Getting the opportunity to hammer away at that.
Martin gets fisted and fouls it straight back. It is 0-2. Leonis at 269. That's the highest his average has been this year. Home run, 2 driven in. Lackey to the wind, the 0-2 pitch. You see Leonis in the last dozen ball games that he has been in. Hit almost 350. He has done an excellent job and done a very good job pinch hitting too. The games he hasn't started because of a left-hander starting for the opposition, he has come on, and all 3 pinch hits that the Rangers have this year as a team have been accounted for by Leonis Martin. And slapped foul down the third base side, back into the seats. Still 1-2. Martin 2 out of 7 on this homestand. Lackey back to the plate. A little jackknife out of the way of that inside fastball. The count is even to Martin. Lackey about ready to throw his 39th pitch of the night. 27 strikes, 11 balls thus far. There's a looper out in center field. On comes Ellsbury. He's going to have to play it on a hop. And Leonis Martin continues his hot hitting. A leadoff single here in the Ranger 3rd inning.
Yeah, good guy to get on base. Got some speed. Now you got the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the Coors Light freeze cam. First time up, Ian Kinsler. First pitch of the game. Uh-oh. That's a problem for Lackey. And look at Daniel Nava saying, where is it? What happened to it? I know it's up there somewhere. It was up there.
That was a long, high one, boy.
Yeah.
So high Daniel couldn't see it. It's getting to the time of night where you might have problems with a fly ball. It's starting to see the sky go from blue to gray. And then the ball might blend into the sky.
Get that little twilight going?
Yeah, then you might have a problem.
0-1 to Ian. Long hold by Lackey. He will go first base way to drive Leonis back. Leonis putting that little wrist guard on that he uses when he's running the base paths. Keep him from jamming that thumb that he injured last year when he was down at AAA. And Kinsler pops it up. Shallow left field. Drew going out, making the call. That's out number 1. Back to first goes Martin. Now Elvis Andrus will come up. And let's head down to Emily Jones once again, Em.
And guys, the Ranger bats knew it was just a matter of time before they broke out of their funk last night. A good example of that. Now it's just a matter of keeping it going.
Create a lot of opportunity, like I always say, and just yesterday, finally, we capitalized and we execute the right way. I think that, we could continue to do the same thing, create opportunity. We're going to be in really good shape.
And that's the one thing they keep talking about is the fact that they have had so many opportunities. Granted, they haven't made the most of those opportunities just yet this season, but they're hoping to continue that with things like aggressive base running.
Well, Leonis Martin being aggressive, and it looked like he had gotten in under the tag, but second base umpire Dan Iasonia rang him up.
I thought he was safe, but we're about 1.5 miles away from second base, not quite as close as Dan is. He thought he was out, and I guess that's all that mattered. Strong throw from Saltalamacchia. Let's see if he slides in. Yeah, that's what it looked like. I thought he hit the bag first.
Another angle at it. He's on the bag. Yep. Now the Red Sox got one there. Well, Martin caught stealing. Now bases empty, 2 away. And the 1-0 pitch to Elvis. Inside and off the glove of Saltalamacchia. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Elvis out on a pretty nice play by Stephen Drew, his counterpart at short. First time up. Lawrence Martin still trying to figure out what happened. Rangers now 13 stolen bases out of 18 attempts.
Like he's going to throw a couple. He slipped on that last pitch, just making sure he's okay.
John Farrell, the Red Sox skipper and former Red Sox pitching coach a couple of years ago. A rip and a miss by Elvis. It is 2-1. Farrell, of course, went on to manage the Blue Jays after leaving Boston, and in his past season trying to settle things down in Boston. They made a deal with the Blue Jays to allow Farrell to come back and be manager. Pitch fouled off to the right. The count is even at 2-2. Elvis, a pretty good 2 weeks worth of work there. That .320 average. Trying to get aboard here with 2 outs. And the count has gone full. So if Elvis can extend the inning, Rangers would get their designated hitter up there. That's Lance Berkman, who's waiting to bat next. Lackey okays the sign, the payoff pitch. Well, ball out to Pedroia. Down to one knee and up firing. That will do it. So the Rangers get a base hit from Martin, but the caught stealing removes him. Nothing left. We're going to the 4th. 1-1 Rangers and Red Sox on Fox Sports Southwest.
Red Sox and Rangers. Buzz and Tom, special guest Sean Decker of the Rangers here to talk about a fan sleepover. What's this all about?
That's right. Next Saturday, May 11th, we're going to have our first fan sleepover. We're going to have some of the cast from The Sandlot out. We're going to watch the movie on the field. We'll have the folks from Rangers Live out. It should be a great time. We will sell out, so make sure to get your tickets at TexasRangers.com/sleepover.
Now, how many tickets do you think you can sell? What will be a sellout?
We should be close to 2,000.
2,000 in the outfield, right?
Yes, sir. We'll scatter them all throughout. Should be great.
All right, there we go. Fans sleepover, and they get their tickets out?
TexasRangers.com/sleepover.
There you go. Okay, appreciate it, Sean. Thank you, Buzz.
All right, Jim, thank you. That'd be a fun night, especially if the weather's like this.
I hope all those people that are coming know that the ballpark is haunted.
I didn't know it was haunted. Is it haunted?
No, just kidding.
You're gonna. Why don't you tape a story? Tell around the campfire.
A ghost story.
Yeah,
it's a good idea.
Napa swinging and miss. Or we'll be on the air from Houston that night. We could tell one during the
That's
game.
That's right.
Just kinda,
I wouldn't mind watching the Sandlot again. What'd that guy say? You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, that's right. 2-2 pitch to Napoli. Up the middle. Oh, Ogando.
How'd he stop that ball?
Knocked it down and throws out Napoli. Highway robbery.
That ball was only a foot off the ground. And that was a smash. I guess because that's where his glove ended up after he threw the ball.
Attaboy, Alexi. Way to charge that ball. That's those good pitcher's reactions right there. That's not exactly what Napoli was saying going down the line, but
Nap had a base hit taken away from him. He's not too happy about that.
No, one away, and here's Daniel Nava. Nava drove in the Red Sox run in the second inning with a base hit to center field. His 19th RBI of the year. Nava, the switch hitter, batting left-handed against the right-hander, Alexi Ogando. Nava right up among the league leaders in fewest at-bats per RBI. It was 4.67. That's going to drop down. That was 7th. And with the RBI last time up there, that'll drop down some. Craig Gentry will make his average drop down some with that capture of the fly ball. That's out number 2.
A good fastball by Alexi that time. He got it in on Nava. First time up, Nava drove in a run with a breaking ball that stayed up. That time he ran the fastball in on his fist and jammed him.
So here's Jared Saltalamacchia. Salty down on strikes in the second inning. A 1-1 ball game. Red Sox with 3 hits. And the Rangers with 2 hits. Red Sox commit the only error of the ball game. 1-0 to Saltalamacchia. Ogando back to him. Took something off the breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Saltalamacchia now 0 for his last 8 trips to the plate. This is his 20th start of the year. Oh, he got fisted by that good fastball from Ogando.
A lot of times Alexi likes to keep his fastball away, but there's a couple in the last 3 or 4 pitches that he ran right in on the fists of the left-hand hitters. That's a good pitch for him. Keep those hitters honest.
He'll set up something off speed if he wants to throw it right here on 1 and 2. Maybe that changeup. And Saltalamacchia drives it down the right field line. It's a fair ball and into the corner. Cruz will play the carom and get it back in, but Saltalamacchia cruising into second base with a 2-out double.
Well, they got the one before it in on the fist. That time that ball was up and in, and Saltalamacchia just hammered it down the right field line. Didn't look like it got a lot of the plate. Let's take a look. It's an upper part of the strike zone, inside corner. But he hit that on the good part of the bat. That was a rope.
Pretty good job of hitting to keep that ball fair, too.
Alexi hasn't thrown a lot of changeups. He got Victorino in the first inning on a changeup to ground out to second, but hadn't thrown many since then.
Here's Will Middlebrooks, who flied to right his first time up. And he fouls the first pitch off. It's 0-1.
And Middlebrooks has been late on the fastball and early on the breaking ball.
And that's not a good place to be if you're a hitter.
It's kind of a little bit out of whack.
Middlebrooks, one of those guys that have been slumping of late. He's 0 for his last 10.
Last year he had 15 home runs, knocked in 54 runs and only 267 at bats. He had pretty good production while he was in there last year.
Fly ball to center, not very well hit. Coming on Gentry. And Craig with his good speed able to get there in plenty of time. So the 2-out double No damage to Alexi. One left on for the Red Sox after 3.5. Rangers and Red Sox tied at 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Offering savings of up to 45% on 4 tickets, hot dogs, and Cokes. Plus, you get 2 Kids Zones wristbands and 1 souvenir program. Order your Coca-Cola family pack for any non-premier game, including the upcoming series against the White Sox. Wrong. TexasRangers.com/specials. We already got through with the White Sox. It's for the next series. Slow breaking ball from John Lackey, hangs outside. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Lance Berkman. Berkman called out on strikes back in the first inning. And he takes a strike here. It's 2-1. And Lance expressing a little bit of displeasure to Jerry Davis. Thought that pitch was not in the strike zone. Davis disagreed with him. 2-1 pitch. Rip and a miss, and the count is even at 2-2.
Talked about Lackey coming back from Tommy John surgery. Didn't pitch at all last year. Year before that was a down year, a 641 earned run average. Year before last, he gave up 203 hits in 160 innings. Probably was starting to feel some things in his elbow then. Had the surgery and has come back with it. Spent some time on the DL this year with an unrelated injury. He's throwing the ball pretty well tonight.
And Berkman grounds one to the right side. Cut off by Napoli. Overhand to Lackey, and that is out number 1.
Pretty good command of his pitches. Good breaking ball that he's keeping down. And fastball 90, 92 miles an hour. Again, he's a good competitor. He knows how to pitch. And if he's healthy, it could be a real shot in the arm to the Red Sox rotation. Yep. Their rotation is off to a great start this year. Lester and Buchholz are throwing the ball well. Ryan Dempster throwing the ball well. Dubron didn't have much luck last night, but he's off to a pretty good start. If Lester can solidify the 5th spot in the rotation, Red Sox are looking pretty good.
1 away here in the 4th. And here's Adrian Beltre, who reached on an error by Will Middlebrooks. And he takes the pitch just off the outside corner for ball 1. Adrian, a .239 hitter. As he bats here in the 4th. Lackey back to the plate. 2-0. Mentioned Beltre. Most at bats of any Ranger hitter against John Lackey. It's 57 at bats now, and Adrian down below 200 against the veteran right-hander. Came into the game hitting 196. Pulls that pitch foul off the screen in front of the Red Sox dugout. It's 2-1. Lackey studying the signs. And the big right-hander from Abilene, Texas, goes to the wind. High and tight. It is 2-2.
Fans don't like that, but that was a changeup. That wasn't a brushback pitch.
And now we get where the count is 3-1 from Jerry Davis. And ball 4. That puts Beltre aboard with 1 out, and A.J. Przinsky coming up. First walk issued by John Lackey tonight here in the 4th inning. So 3 strikeouts to go along with that 1 free pass, and Przinsky will come up 0 for 1, having grounded out to third base. Now, the one thing you would be concerned about with John Lackey, if you were John Farrell, the Red Sox manager's endurance. Lackey got to 81 pitches in his first start, or his first start coming back off the disabled list. First pitch shot foul. No, I would think when you get to about 65 or 70, you start to keep a closer eye on him for any signs of a physical letdown. And right now, Lackey at 60, or will be at 60 after this next pitch. 0-1 to Przinsky. Beltre a short lead at first, and the fastball sinks outside. 1-1. Mike Napoli holding the inside of the bag to Adrian Beltre. AJ, you remember the first time up, got fisted by a Lackey and hit a little slow roller to third. Off-speed pitch. Had him way out in front. A ball and 2 strikes. Lackey has that ability to throw a couple of different speeds of breaking ball. And that was the slower variety that had Przinsky going down to his knees after the swing. Lackey set. Przinsky going the other way. It's a fair ball by Middlebrooks. Beltre made a bluff going around second, put the brakes on very quickly as Nava got to the ball, but Przinsky, an opposite field single. The Rangers have something going here in the 4th. Runners at first and second, and Nelly Cruz coming up.
Has taken advantage of the shift. The third baseman was over toward shortstop. That was a fastball away. AJ just making a little bit of contact. Actually hit a ground ball right straight to third base. Pitch away from him. Not quite a strike. Just poked the ground ball. There you can see the gap between third base and the third baseman. A nice easy single for AJ. AJ is not going to walk very much. He's not going to strike out very much. He's going to make some contact. Put the ball in play.
Yeah, and you can see in that spray chart for AJ why this shift is put on. Most of the ball's up the middle of the diamond. Infield wise anyway. Nelly Cruz a rip and a miss. It's 0-1. Cruz went down swinging on 3 pitches his first time up. And now it's been 4 almost identical pitches that Nelly has swung through. A 1-1 ball game. Rangers with runners at first and second. 1 out here in the 4th inning. Cruz trying to unknot this ball game. Lackey will check Beltre. And fires a strike to the outside corner. It is 0-2. See the numbers Nelly Cruz has put up in his career. The highest average of any active player with more than 100 at-bats against the Red Sox. 377 in his career for Nelson Cruz. Just inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lackey, looking at Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire, and motioning, was that pitch up? I don't know that he got an answer.
Pretty close. One of those that could go either way. Went the Rangers' way that time.
Now the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, Saltalamacchia, a good job of blocking it, keeping it near home plate. That evens the count at Cruz. Now it's 2-2. Rangers made Lackey throw 22 pitches in the first inning, but then he came back and used only 13 in the second, 14 in the third. Now they're making him work a little bit in the fourth. A walk to Beltre, an opposite field single for Pierzynski. 2-2, the count to Cruz. Down the right field line, a towering fly ball. Over there is Victorino, and in fair ground makes the catch. Tagging at second, moving over to third is Beltre. So the Rangers will have runners at the corners and 2 outs for Mitch Moreland. Cruz back to the dugout, 0 for 2 this evening. And Moreland steps in, having popped out to third base in the second inning.
Mitch came into the game 8 for his last 16. His average was below 200 for, at least the first 3 weeks of the season. He's up to, coming into the game, 271. Swinging a hot bat, 268 right now. So he's a good guy to have up there. Making some solid contact, using the whole field.
So Mitch 2 out of 8 in his career against Lackey. Be a good time for his first RBI against the 34-year-old right-hander. Beltre at third, Pierzynski at first. Moreland waiting as Lackey sets. 1 ball and no strikes. Runners in scoring position. Mitch not off to a great start, but that average, like everything else for him, is on the rise. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Lackey now up over 70 pitches here tonight. He sets for the 2-0 pitch. And it's 3-0. Just high with that one.
This right here with 2 outs is where I got to think Mitch has got the green light right here. He's one of the Rangers' hottest hitters. He's got power.
John Farrell was right there with you on that talk, too. He's pointed to his head and said, think.
Yeah, don't throw him a good fastball to hit.
Think about this. 3-0 pitch. Outside ball 4.
That was a non-intentional walk. They didn't want any part of Mitch in that situation.
The second walk of the inning and the game. That loads up the bases. And it brings up Craig Gentry. But first, it's going to bring Juan Nieves, the pitching coach, out to the mound. Kind of go over what they have in mind for Gentry. Gentry was called out on strikes his first time up. While we have a minute, folks, we'd like to invite you to tune in each Saturday morning at 10 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Southwest for Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. Well, the conference on the mound is concluded, and Ranger fans hoping for a good outcome from this at bat by Craig Gentry. Beltre, Pierzynski, and Moreland, third, second, and first. Lackey from the stretch. And a chopper behind the bag at third. Long throw for Middlebrooks, not in time, and the ball gets away from Napoli. Down the line comes Pierzynski, he scores. The Rangers take a 3-1 lead on an infield single and an error.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the situation was throwing to second. We've seen Mitch Moreland get some pretty good jumps under those circumstances, so I don't know if he had a play at second, but with Gentry running the way he played back on that hop, his chance of throwing Gentry out was not that good. Gentry beat it out all the way. The throw gets by Napoli, and Rangers pick up an extra run on that play.
Yeah, once he did that, he had no play, basically. Middlebrooks backing up on the ball, and he would have been much better off just sticking it in his pocket because Gentry was going to beat that even with the best throw. So it's an RBI for Gentry, 1 RBI. The second run, Pierzynski scores on the error charged to Middlebrooks. Second error charged to him tonight. And the Rangers now with a 3-1 lead, looking for more, and Leonis Martin is the hitter. Martin, a base hit to center field in the 3rd inning. And the Rangers getting some more 2-out production here tonight. And Martin fouls that straight back right below us. And it's an 0-1 count for John Lackey.
Lackey hadn't walked anybody the first 3 innings, but he walked Beltre, then pitched around Moreland for another walk. Trying to set up that play for Gentry.
Moreland is over at third. Gentry is at first and probably looking to get a good jump. Lackey set. And a bluff move by Gentry. I think he was going, but Lackey threw a little slide step at him. And he thought better of it, so Gentry back to first. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Leonis Martin. Greg Gentry this year 4 out of 5 as far as the steals are concerned. Rangers with 2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And ball 2 is outside. And now the pitch count for Lackey approaching that same area he was in last time at 80 pitch level, and John Farrell keeping a very close eye on his right-hander. You know, they'd want him to extend himself more than the 81 that he threw last time if he could. Think about it, when you're coming back and you don't have as much arm strength as you do when you're 100%. When you have a long inning, especially toward the end of your outing, it takes more out of you than, say, a 28 pitch inning when you're in real good shape. Lackey ready with a 2-1 pitch. High, ball 3. Well, Lackey working himself into a jam, his 30th pitch of this inning. He has fallen behind to Leonis Martin. If he loses Martin, it takes the Rangers back to the top of the order for Ian Kinsler. And this, what looks like a sellout crowd, starting to come to life here in the 4th inning. There goes Gentry. The pitch is outside, ball 4, and that loads him up for Kinsler.
Yeah, it really hasn't been the kind of inning where the Rangers have pounded the ball. AJ just hit a ground ball to third and took advantage of the shift. Gentry did hit a ground ball to third and beat it out. 3 walks in the inning and an error. All adds up to 2 runs, but not much in the way of line drives. Looking for a little bit of a line drive right here and break the game open a little bit.
Now, they were able to get the big hit last night from Adrian Beltre in a bases loaded 2-out situation. Cleared the bases with a double. And the same kind of thing tonight from Ian Kinsler would be huge against John Lackey. Kinsler started the game with a home run, his 6th of the year. Lackey's first pitch is pulled foul outside third. Our AT&T U-verse reverse replay. First inning, first pitch. See you later. Don't worry, Daniel Novick's not going to hit you on top of the head. He got somebody about 10 rows deep. Ian Kinsler, his 28th career leadoff home run. No balls and a strike. Lackey back to the plate. Kinsler a drive deep down the line and left. If it's fair, it's gone. It is foul. Looking all the way down there, and not by more than 8 or 10 feet as it passed the foul pole. And that was that line drive rocket you were talking about, Tom.
Yep.
Just a little bit foul.
Did everything he could to try to keep that ball fair, but just wasn't quite able to do it. Now you got a battle here with no balls and 2 strikes. We're going to throw a wild pitch. Trying to bury that breaking ball down in the dirt.
That would work.
That'll work.
Yep. 345 the average for Kinsler. We got Moreland, Gentry, and Martin. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. 0-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat out toward Pedroia. He will throw out Kinsler, and that'll do it for the Rangers. But they retake the lead with 2 runs on 2 hits and 3 walks and an error. We're going to the 5th. Rangers 3, Red Sox 1. Fox Sports Southwest. And take a 3-1 lead in the top of the 5th. And joining us, as always, co-host of Rangers Live before and after Rangers games on Fox Sports Southwest, Mark McLemore. Mac, thanks for coming in. Normally they wait until you get here to score, but I guess you were in the booth, so that actually counts on your book again. They did score.
Well, they saw me in the booth, so they got a little antsy and they just couldn't wait. So we'll take it.
Yeah, no kidding. Now you're facing the best team in baseball record-wise in the Red Sox, and last night a good way to start a series. First time you've really played somebody that's been playing well and has been playing well for the entire year. But Red Sox, of course, the best thing going in Major League Baseball in the early going, and Rangers put it to them last night.
They did. One of the things you want to see and that you'd like to see is when you're playing that team or those upper echelon teams, is that your team rises to the occasion. They get ready. They come out and they play well against that team. You don't necessarily have to win, but you rise to the level of the competition. And definitely by looking at Boston's record, they're the best team in the game.
Right.
But the Rangers did it, man, and they look like they're on their way to doing it again tonight.
Stephen Drew starting things off here in the top of the 5th. 2-0 pitch from Ogando is low and inside. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Alexi falling behind. Ogando has walked only 1 tonight, but again, the command that he's had of his fastball still isn't where he needs it to be and where he'd like it to be. Been able to throw a lot of breaking balls for strikes when he's been behind, but falling behind the number 9 man, 3-0 to start the inning, is not what he had in mind. There's a strike. And our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light. Rangers are 26-12 against Boston since the start of 2009. There's a strike to Drew to fill the count. It's the highest winning percentage against the Red Sox by any team in the last 5 seasons, and kind of points up what you're talking about, Mac. You face the Boston Red Sox, and you get them down a little bit, and you want to bury them. You don't want them to get the idea that they can come back and beat you.
No,
there's ball 4.
You want to get them, any team that you get ahead of, you want to keep them there. You don't want to let them think that they can score and come back and get themselves back into the game.
Well, Ogando with his second walk, and Tom and I were talking about good walk or okay walks and bad walks. That's a bad walk for Alexi.
Yeah, leadoff hitter, 9th place hitter, walk. Nope, that's not good.
And after your team just scored a couple of runs, no, you don't want to do that.
Now you got to go back to the top of the order for Jacoby Ellsbury, who's 1 out of 2. Ellsbury hitting with Drew at first and nobody out, and he fouls off the first pitch. And we've talked about it a little bit, I guess, Mac, but you look at the Boston Red Sox club, And you say, how in the world did this team, or essentially this team, have such a poor 2012 year, and yet they bounce back this year and play really well? It's just one of the weird things in baseball that happens.
I mean, it's really weird. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. You look at the team on paper, they've got seemingly everything that you need in order to play well, but you put them out there on the field and let them go through a season, and they're terrible. And then they bounce back with pretty much the same team, and they're playing well. I can't explain it. I wish I could.
I think the biggest difference, Buzz, is they brought in, we talked about this a little bit last night, the guys they did bring in. That's a turn too.
Yeah, that's that 2-ball. A little bit different than what we're used to, but that's okay. That'll work. Mitch Moreland, the unassisted.
The guys they did bring in are gamers. You know, they brought in Victorino. They brought in Napoli. They brought in some guys that like to play the game. Johnny Gomes. And so, you know, maybe they've got a better clubhouse. Maybe they got a little better attitude out on the field. The trade they made with the Dodgers, I think they felt, I'm not speaking for me or trying to speak for them, but reading between the lines, I think that a lot to do with that trade was more than getting rid of salaries. It's getting rid of guys that might not have fit in with their program. So, you know, maybe on paper they don't have the same team this year that they did last year, but they're playing better. And maybe, Mac, you know, you've been in a lot of good teams and clubhouses. Maybe that clubhouse chemistry and mix has something to do with it. What role does something like that play?
You know, I think that plays a huge role. I mean, you look at the teams that win, that you look at them individual, you know, position by position. It's like, okay, that's a good player. That's a good player. This is a good player. Not necessarily superstar players, but they play extremely well together, and especially, you know, out there on the field, they get it done.
Victorino pop up into shallow center, and on comes Craig Gentry. We will continue that conversation as we go forward. Ogando works around the leadoff walk. We're going to the bottom of the fifth. 3-1 Rangers. Win Texas-sized jackpots. It's Texas' original jackpot game, available at your favorite lottery retailer. Thanks for joining us tonight. Glad to have you along. Rangers leading 3-1 as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Mark McLemore joining us here in the booth, and we're kind of discussing turnarounds, I guess you would say, the chemistry in ball clubs, how big an effect that can have on teams. Most specifically, we're talking about the Red Sox turning things around. And, you know, you can go back to not too far distant Ranger past and look at how things turned around. And I don't think it's any accident that it started when Ron Washington came here. Now, he came here in 2006 as the strikeout was rung up on Elvis. Things changed dramatically from there to 2008. front office did a good job of getting a handle on things and developing things differently. Ron Washington brought in the message of we're playing sound fundamental baseball. That's how we're going to win. And that was different than what had been taught around here for a while.
It really was. I think I'm a firm believer in it all starts at the top, and everything flows from there. I think when Ron Washington came in, he changed the philosophy. And for the guys that didn't want to follow that philosophy, John Daniels was there to make the moves and bring the people in, the personnel in, to do that. And we've all seen what's happened over the last 6-7 years. It's been a tremendous turnaround.
And now you get guys like Lance Berkman, our hitter right now, coming in from the outside and saying, hey, this is a great clubhouse. And that just didn't happen by accident. It's been that way for the last several years. A.J. Przinsky thinks the same thing. He's come in, and they remark about it. So there's got to be something to it when guys from the outside are able to see that quickly and say it.
Right, when guys come in from other organizations that have been around an awfully long time, they know what a good clubhouse is, and they know what a bad clubhouse is.
Well, time for a Mazda game break. Here's Rick Renner. Rick. All right, Rick, thanks. And that opens the door for the possibility of the Rangers picking up some ground. Entered the game, did the Rangers this afternoon, 1.5 games ahead of Oakland and 7 ahead of the Angels. They are now 2 ahead of Oakland and 7.5 ahead of Los Angeles. There's a strike to Adrian Beltre. It's 1-1.
Now, Buzz, I think if you want to boil it down to the lowest common denominator, so to speak, the biggest difference between the Red Sox this year and last year are 2 pitchers, John Lester and Clay Buchholz.
Yeah. This
year, so far, they're 10-0 with an ERA a little bit above 2. Last year together, they were 20-22, 2 games under 500, and their ERAs together were about 4.7. So I don't know what they're going to do the rest of the year, but early in the year, they're 10-0.
Back-to-back singles now. Berkman to second, Beltre to first, and Przinsky coming up. Yeah, and people always say, well, that's a reflection on how well the team's playing behind him, and that's true. But pitching is a big part of baseball teams, and you have to have the two of them going together. Good teams have both good pitching and good hitting to back each other up and feed off each other.
Yeah, and you could see why they wouldn't have been approaching the same record, 10-0, but together their ERA was almost 5 last year. So that just the ERA speaks to the fact that something dramatically has changed with the way they're throwing the ball this year compared to last year.
Well, the Rangers, a couple of the seasoned veterans doing some work here in the 5th inning as Berkman singled. That was followed by Beltre's single. And here's another salty vet in A.J. Przinsky. Przinsky slapped a base hit to left field his last time up. He will not be able to do the same thing again, even though he was trying. Will Middlebrooks, the third baseman, is playing about twice as close to the line this time as he was last time.
Middlebrooks is having a tough time tonight.
Oh, man.
Not quite knowing exactly where to play. Back, in, left, right.
Przinsky, a fly ball to right. Victorino started back, now comes on to make the catch. And everybody stays put. That's out number 2, and Nelson Cruz coming up.
Right fielder, Nelson Cruz.
Left-hander Andrew Miller getting loose in that bullpen. The only left-hander the Red Sox have down there in that pen. John Lackey now approaching his 94th pitch of the night. You're talking about Will Middlebrooks, man. Did you ever have one of those games? And I know you always were one of the proponents of saying, hit the ball to me. I want to make the play. Did you ever have one of those? Say, well, maybe I'll back off that a little bit and hit it to somebody else this time.
Oh, I have
Give
a
me
lot
a break.
Of those. A lot of them. Man, I mean, there are just days when you just don't have it, whether it's your footwork, your arm's not feeling good. There are days, yes, there are days I did not want the ball hit to me.
Yeah.
A lot of them at third base.
1-0 the count to Nelly Cruz. Ripping a miss. I always get a kick out of guys out there, the pitchers out there struggling and taking more time between pitches. And I said, I had a lot of days I didn't want to throw the ball either. You know, every time I threw it, it got hit hard somewhere. I don't want to throw the thing. I want to take all the time I can. Berkman at second, Beltre at first. 1-1 to Cruz. It's a strike on the inside corner. Nelly, a strikeout and a fly ball to right tonight. Rangers with 6 hits. They have 2 of them here in the 5th inning. Leading 3-1. Lackey, a long look into Saltalamacchia. Now the right-hander's ready. Ooh, Nelly had a rip at that high fastball. Cruz back in the box. Lackey taking some time getting on the hill, as you see Beltre trailing Lance Berkman. 1-2 the count to Nelson Cruz. Hit pretty well to center, but that's going to stay in the ballpark. Jacoby Ellsbury back there makes the grab. That'll do it. Rangers a couple of hits. They strand 2. Mac, thanks for joining us. Mark McLemore. We'll see him live after the game on Rangers Live. 3-1 Rangers. We go to the 6th inning on Fox Sports Southwest. Baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by the all-new Mazda 6. When you change everything, you change everything. Now on we go to inning number 6 here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Rangers 3 runs on 6 hits, no errors. The Red Sox 1 run on 4 hits and 2 errors. Alexio Gondo to face Pedroia, Ortiz, and Napoli here in a very important 6th inning. And he throws strike 1 to Pedroia. Pedroia 0 for 2 tonight. A fly ball to right and a strikeout. Gondo with his 82nd pitch of the evening and ground ball right back to him. Boy, great reactions. A little underhand flip. And Pedroia is retired for the first out. And let's go say hello to Jim Knox again. Jim.
All right, Buzz, real quick, the Rangers want to remind all the Ranger fans that you can take part in the Rangers ballpark experience. There's numerous things you can do, like steal a base like Mason just did, as well as special scoreboard messaging. To find out more, log on to TexasRangers.com. Mason stole this base in 23 seconds. What are you going to do with it now, Mason?
I was thinking about putting it in my room and On my desk.
On your desk. Very nice. This will be a nice desk piece. Very nice, Mason. All right, well, congratulations, buddy. He had a good time, so check it out, TexasRangers.com. Buzz?
All right, Jim, thank you. You know, Kevin Harmon, Ron Washington out there to, along with Mike Maddox. Take a look at Alexi Ogando. That last hot shot back up the middle. I had a question about whether that got Alexi or whether he twisted something. Convinced everybody he's okay. Oh, he barehanded it.
Yeah, he blocked it with his hand.
That's why.
Got most of it in the palm of his hand, it looked like.
Now, one out. Here is David Ortiz. And he pulls that first pitch foul. That fastball working its way in pretty well. I thought he got his glove over there in time, but nope. That's the meat hook that he has on his right wrist.
If he did knock it down, probably would have been a base hit. Pedroia almost had a chance to beat that changeup to first base that he threw.
Swing and a miss by Big Poppy. It's 0-2. Yeah, he did. That'd be a little embarrassing. Throw a slow pitch softball pitch and have the guy beat it out.
Unfortunately, Pedroia just assumed he was going to be out and let up just a little bit.
0-2 to Ortiz. Down the right field line, it's headed toward the corner. It is a foul ball.
Just got out in front of that a little bit.
Ooh, that looked like trouble.
Hey, he's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes, so wasn't a terrible pitch, but maybe a little bit too good for an 0-2 pitch. Fortunately, it was hooking.
That would have had a chance in Fenway.
Yeah, it might have gone right around Pesky's pole.
Pesky pole down there. So Ortiz coming back with a count of no balls and 2 strikes. David tonight has doubled to left. He scored the only Red Sox run back in the 2nd inning. He's also flied out to left field. Ogando to the wind. And a ground ball to deep second base. Ian Kinsler from shallow right throws out Ortiz. And that's reminiscent of last night when Ortiz hit 4 balls almost identically to that same spot. So 2 away, and Mike Napoli will come up.
First baseman Mike Napoli.
Napoli tonight has struck out and hit a shot right back through the middle that was flagged down with the glove this time by Alexi Ogando. And the slow breaking ball finds the outside corner for strike 1. Napoli at .269 for the season. Another breaking ball that evens the count. Napoli, though, in a bit of a downturn. He's 0 for his last 10 times to the plate. 2-1. Krasinski with a sign, and the pitch from Ogando, another breaking ball. It is 2-2. Mike Napoli probably going a lot on what he remembers of Alexi Ogando as his battery mate, saying, what happened to all the fastballs? This guy used to be fastball hard slider, and that was it. Not now. 2-2 is pop foul. That will reach the seats over the Ranger dugout. And we'll come back and try it again. And I guess you could probably say it about most of the Rangers starters, that they have adjusted their repertoire, if you will. Part of the credit for that has to go to A.J. Przinsky and being willing to work with that kind of pitch selection. Here's a base hit to center field for Napoli. That breaking ball hung up there, and Napoli pounded it into center field. 2-out base hit. It'll bring up Daniel Nava.
Trying to throw it down and away. Instead, it's right down the center of the plate. Napoli's missed that pitch a couple of times today.
Yep.
That time he was able to get a hold of one.
Well, Napoli at first with 2 out. Daniel Nava 1 for 2 tonight. Steps to the plate. Had the RBI back in the second inning. Last time up, he flied to center. Ogando a check of Napoli at first. The pitch is high for ball 1. Nava now a 3-game hitting streak going. .302 the season average. Good breaking ball to the inside corner. Nava has hit safely in 5 of his last 6 ball games. Young man coming on for the Red Sox takes that pitch inside that got him. Like it got him on the right elbow. And he will go down to first. And that'll bring Mike Maddox out to the mound very quickly for a visit. Ogando, the hit batter, tried to come inside on Nava and came inside all right, but plunked him. Well, that will put the tying runs aboard with 2 outs. Jared Saltalamacchia will be the hitter. Well, folks, Fox Sports is proud to partner with Johns Hopkins Medicine, one of this year's Fox Sports supports charities. Johns Hopkins is at the forefront of groundbreaking research into autoimmune disorders like multiple sclerosis and lupus. Join us in the fight. Donate now by visiting hopkinsmedicine.org/Fox. Robbie Ross quickly up and starting to loosen in the Ranger bullpen. 2 on, 2 out. Saltalamacchia doubled his last time up. And the Rangers employing the same kind of shift that they do against David Ortiz. Breaking ball, and he couldn't check his swing. That is strike 1. Jerry Davis making the call. Despite Saltalamacchia's pleas for an appeal down to third. Jerry Davis said, nope, I saw you go around. It's a strike. Ian Kinsler stationed out in the shallow right field. Elvis up the middle on the second base side of the bag, but close enough to keep Napoli from straying too far off. 0-1 the count. And 0-2 on the foul ball.
Well, based on the way that Saltalamacchia is swinging tonight, the best chance seems to be that hard breaking ball down and in. He's missed that several times. Last time up, he whacked a high inside fastball. And it appears that if you can throw that good, sharp breaking ball down and in, you might have a pretty good chance to get him.
Napoli at second, Nava at first. No balls, 2 strikes. Ogando trying to work around a tough spot here in the 6th inning. Got him swinging.
Well, 94-mile-an-hour fastball might get him, too.
Down and away where he hadn't seen it before. Well, the Red Sox get a hit and a hit batter. They leave 2. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Rangers 3, Red Sox 1. Fox Sports Southwest. for the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $400 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Guadalupe Ramirez from North Richland Hills. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam during the inning, Guadalupe Ramirez from North Richland Hills will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Left-hander Andrew Miller in relief of John Lackey. Lackey worked the first 5 innings, gives way to the only left-hander in the Red Sox bullpen.
He's got a great arm. He's had some problems with his control. He's pitched 6 1/3 and walked 7. He struck out 12. So he's had problems controlling his pitches, but when he throws them anywhere near the plate, gets a lot of strikeouts.
Mitch Moreland leading things off. Moreland 0 for 1. He popped out and walked his last time up. And that pitch way outside. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Miller, 27 years old. He's a top draft choice out of North Carolina. Went to school there. He was an All-American at the Tar Heels. Detroit originally selected him. Up the middle by Moreland, and Mitch continuing to hit left-handers like he owns them. A leadoff base hit for Moreland against the left-hander Andrew Miller.
Yeah, he's a tough lefty too. Fortunately, this is the one you have to hit when you get it, though. That high slider that doesn't slide too much. Stayed up in the strike zone. Mitch, another great swing. Stays hot. 1 for 2 today. Came into the game 8 for 16, so he's 9 for 18 in his last 18 at bats.
Now, 1 on, nobody out. We'll see if Ron Washington is thinking about getting something going with Gentry at home plate. You got Craig Gentry, the right-handed hitter, and followed by Leonis Martin, the left-handed hitter. So that probably rules out a sacrifice bunt with the Rangers leading 3-1. Give Craig a chance to swing the bat, but certainly wouldn't preclude maybe a hit and run if you feel like you can get the ball in play on the right side. Up the middle, double play, ground ball. Pedroia drew, they're not going to get the return. Nope. This took a little too long for Pedroia to shovel it over to Drew. And Gentry able to leg out the return throw to first, so he exchanged his places with Mitch Moreland on the force play.
Yeah, most guys would have gotten doubled up on that play, but not Gentry. Gentry's speed has been a big factor in this game. In fact, a major factor in this game. He hit a ground ball to third with the bases loaded and beat it out to drive in the second run. And it may be a big factor in this inning, beating that relay throw back to first. We'll see.
Toss to first, and Gentry is back standing. We told you last time that Gentry was on first in the 4th inning. He's 4 out of 5 stolen base-wise this year. Leonis Martin is 1 for 1, a single and a walk tonight. Oh, and he ripped that thing foul. Got out in front of that 93-mile-an-hour fastball and smoked it down the line, but hooked it a little too much. Looks like that might have been a hard-earned souvenir, judging from the look on his face.
I don't even like the look when they go into the stands like that.
Stride down the left field line, not very deep. Nava toward the line and in. Makes the catch. Back to first is Gentry. There are 2 outs now, and Ian Kinsler will come up.
Second baseman, Ian.
Gentry looking into Dave Anderson and the Ranger bench. Ian 1 for 3 tonight. That leadoff home run in the 1st inning. Since then, he's popped out and grounded out. Miller, a couple of looks at first, and the left-hander throws a breaking ball for strike 1. Miller originally drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays in 2003 in the 3rd round, did not sign, chose to go to college instead, and the Tigers picked him in the with their first pick in 2006. He was the 6th overall selection that year. 1-1 to Kinsler. Spent a little time in the Marlins organization. Came up with the Tigers just briefly in 2006 and 7. They went over to the Marlins for 3 years off and on, major leagues, minor leagues. There's a strike.
Yeah, he was involved in probably one of the most significant trades the Tigers have ever made when they picked up Miguel Cabrera. They had two top prospects, Cameron Maybin and Andrew Miller. They traded them both to get Miguel Cabrera, and that's worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah, I would say so. And Miller will go first base way to drive Gentry back.
But a lot more was expected out of Miller than what he's accomplished so far. I think he was looked at as a guy that was going to be a top of the rotation frontline starter. And he's working to be a setup reliever right now.
The 1-2 pitch. And slap foul, even just staying alive. And Miller ended up signing with the Red Sox as a minor league free agent in the offseason after the 2010 year. Left-hander is ready. A check of first. And a little nubber right back to the box. Miller fires one down to Napoli, who had to use a little fancy footwork to grab it. So that'll do it. The Rangers waste a leadoff single by Mitch Moreland. They strand a runner. We're going to the 7th inning. It's the Rangers 3, the Red Sox 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Lead through 6 innings. 3-7-0 for the Rangers, 1-5-2 for the Red Sox. Alexi Ogando, 6 innings, I should say, 5 hits, 1 run, couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. And Craig Gentry, an RBI single in that 4th inning. Got the Rangers ahead and so far to stay tonight.
Gondo's back out to face Middlebrooks. That could be his last hitter. He's at 98 pitches. Robbie Ross is warmed up. They've got 2 left-hand hitters and a switch hitter coming up after that. And Robbie was warmed up last inning. He's throwing right now. We'll see.
Yep.
If he gets on, it's definitely his last hitter.
Off speed, hangs inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes to Middlebrooks. Middlebrooks, a couple of fly balls against Ogando tonight. Once to right and once to center. And a base hit to center. Put on that is Ledger. He is aboard to start things, and Ron Washington up off of his bench and out to the mound. That is going to do it for Alexi Ogando. So Ogando worked 6 plus a hitter here in the 7th, and he will depart. Instead of having to face the tying run, it'll be the left-hander Robbie Ross to come on in. Well, Alexi's night is finished. He ends up giving up 6 hits in his 6 innings of work. 1 run thus far, his responsibility, and also Middlebrooks aboard his responsibility. So Robbie coming in while he makes his way in from the bullpen. We will take a timeout. Be right back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Of the order, Stephen Drew with Will Middlebrooks, the runner at first. Numbers for Robbie. 13th appearance and the first pitch. A rip and a miss by Drew.
Another good start for Robbie. Got off to a great start in April last year. Been throwing the ball well. Key part of the ball game, 2-run lead.
Drew tonight has grounded out and walked. Rolls over on one. Moreland is going to go to second, and the return is not made. As over there to cover was Robbie Ross, and Elvis Andrews thought better of it. But they do get the lead man, and that is the first out. Let's go over and say hello to Jim Knox again. Jim.
All right, Buzz has some special folks in town, courtesy KTBB Radio and the Fox Sports Southwest Fan Express rolled in this afternoon from Tyler, Texas. A lot of great folks from East Texas on hand. Fox Sports Southwest girls also on hand. And how big was it? Well, Ricky and Sandy Bay celebrate their 37th wedding anniversary. You can't get much better than riding the bus here to the Ranger ballpark, right?
Much less watching the Rangers beat the Sox.
There we go. All right, well, have a good time, guys. Welcome to the ballpark. Good to see you. Way to go, East Texas. Yeah.
All right, Jim, thank you. Now, the top of the order now to face Robbie Ross. Jacoby Ellsbury is 1 for 3 tonight. He's up there with Stephen Drew at first, 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. And a chopper foul. It is 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Robbie Ross picking up for Alexi Ogando. Ogando worked his first 6 plus a 1-hitter in this inning. Ross back to the plate, missed outside. Ellsbury 0 for 2 against Robbie Ross. Robbie has only faced 4 hitters on the current Red Sox ball club. To center field, that's sinking in a hurry, and Gentry has to play it on a bounce. No, Ellsbury got a pitch up and slapped it into center field, and the Red Sox have the tying runs aboard with 1 out, and Shane Victorino coming to the plate.
Yeah, he just didn't get that pitch where he wanted to. He's trying to get it down and away. He splits the middle of the plate with it. You get a good idea of what can happen if you don't hit your target. You get it near the middle of the plate. Good big league hitters will usually hit the ball pretty well.
Tanner Shepard getting loose on the right side out there in the Ranger bullpen. Mike Maddox. And always that right hand on the shoulder. Pat on the chest. Okay. You got an idea what you're going to do. Now who you're going to work with. In case the ball's hit back to you. Now go get him. So 2 on, 1 out. Victorino will turn around and hit from the right side against the left-hander Ross. Victorino tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk. Grounded out in the first, flied out in the 5th inning. Rangers would love to have that double play grounder hit at somebody. Victorino hitting .282 as Ross comes to the plate and deals strike 1. Infield up a double play depth. Outfield a step around to the right side and ground ball foul outside third. It is no balls and 2 strikes to Shane Victorino. Get an idea of where the Rangers are positioning themselves. They're cutting the gap down in right center field a bit. They're leaving a pretty good gap out there in left center field. 0-2 as Ross sets. Down the first baseline. It's a fair ball. The only play Moreland has is to go to first. That is out number 2. On to third is Drew. To second goes Ellsbury. But there are 2 outs now, and Dustin Pedroia coming up with the tying runs in scoring position. And he's saying, buy me a little more time. Ron Washington giving that universal go out and talk sign to A.J. Pierzynski. And Pierzynski going to go out and take as much time as he can to allow Tanner Shepard to get loose in the bullpen. You got the right-hander Pedroia at the plate. Pierzynski, as all veteran catchers become, the master at talking a lot and saying nothing in a deal like this.
Andy Hawkins gave the tip of the cap to Ron Washington, so Shepard is ready if that's what Wash wants to do. A little sip of coffee before he makes up his mind, though.
Wait till AJ gets all the way back, and here comes Wash.
As soon as he swallowed it, he's ready to go.
So that's going to do it for Robbie Ross. Another pitching change we made, and now the tying runs are at second and third. And Tanner Shepard will come on to face Dustin Pedroia. A 3-1 Ranger lead. Another pitching change here in the 7th inning. And we will take another timeout and be right back to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington after this on Fox Sports Southwest. And the upcoming Tuesday game on May 21st with the A's in town is no different. May 21st features a Nolan Ryan bobblehead doll for the first 30,000 fans, and that's courtesy of Medical Center Arlington. Great seats are still available at TexasRangers.com. Owen and his wife Ruth down there watching the proceedings. Interesting moment in this ball game. Tanner Shepard out of the Ranger bullpen facing second and third and 2 outs, and the first pitch is high and tight for ball 1. Numbers for Tanner Shepard. This is his 14th appearance of the year. That minuscule 0.61 ERA. Opponents just hitting .216. 1-0 pitch. Ripped out and fouled back by Pedroia.
He wasn't trying to single in 2 runs.
No.
He was trying to drive himself in with that swing.
You wouldn't call him a slap hitter, I guess, would you?
No, you definitely wouldn't. He's about 5'7" and swings like he's 6'7".
1-1 the count. Yeah, Stephen Drew at third. Jacoby Ellsbury at second. Shepard working from that stretch. The 1-1. Ground ball to the right side. Moreland cuts it off onto Shepard's covering, and they get Pedroia. Nice play on both ends of that as Moreland went after a ball well to his right, and Tanner Shepard's able to cover. Side retired. The Red Sox strand 2. 3-1 Rangers. And now please join us and Chuck Morgan as he invites the crowd to stand and enjoy God Bless America.
Tonight we invite you to join in singing God Bless America with Lauren Hoying.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
tonight. We got the Chick-fil-A folks represented also. And While the animals get back in their seats, we'd like to invite Chevron to show you tomorrow's matchup. A big one here at 2 o'clock on Fox Sports Southwest. It'll be John Lester and Yu Darvish. Lester a perfect 4-0 and Darvish 5-1. Two of the more talented pitchers in all of baseball going at it here tomorrow afternoon. And hitters going to have a tough day looking at those opponents' batting average against the two of them. 220 against Lester, just 170 against Yu Darvish. That'll be tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. As we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be Junichi Tazawa, the right-hander, taking over on the mound for the Red Sox. And Elvis Andrus goes after the first pitch. Towering fly ball down the right field line. In pursuit is Victorino, and into the corner. He can't quite get that.
Careful you don't get hit by that one. tough to play that, Karam. You have no idea where it's going to hit the wall or if it's going to hit the wall.
You got to kind of play that like a highlight shot, don't you?
Yeah.
Wait for it to bounce off to you.
Once you realize you can't catch it, back up.
The numbers on Tazawa this year. Elvis 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded out a couple of times and struck out. Fastball makes him sit down in the batter's box. It is 1-1.
Ball just never broke.
Looked like, was that a breaking ball or a splitter?
I'm not sure.
It was high, I know that.
It was a breaking ball. It didn't break at all. It was a splitter. It just slipped out of his hands. It was half of a curveball.
Missed the inside corner. It's now 2-1 to Elvis Andrus. Elvis leading off the Rangers' 7th inning. 3-1 Texas. Tazawa missing low and outside. And the count has gone to 3 balls and a strike. Elvis trying to get aboard to start off the Rangers' 7th. Lance Berkman is in the on-deck circle waiting to hit next. Tazawa sets the 3-1 to Andrus. Up the middle, that's a base hit. About waist high going by Tazawa, and he reacted a little bit late to that. And Elvis has his first hit of the evening.
Got behind in the count, came in with a high fastball, and Elvis just ripped it right by him. Oh boy. If that was hit at him, he wouldn't have blocked it.
Nope.
That ball was by him.
To Andrus. Up the middle, that's a base hit.
Man. Watch out. Been some hard hit balls back through the middle today.
Yes, there have.
Napoli hit one that Alexei made a great play on.
First pitch to Lance Berkman is a knee-high strike. Lance 1 for 3 tonight. Singled his last time up. That was in the 5th inning. Well, Berkman now with the average of 306. Trying to move Andrus around, who is at first base. Elvis, the lead as Tazawa sets.
The Red Sox have 2 Japanese relievers. Tazawa is one, and Koji Uehara is the other. They're both off to excellent starts. They very seldom walk anybody, and they've both struck out a lot of guys. Tazawa 15 in 13 innings, and Koji 14 in 11 innings. Together, 29 strikeouts and 4 walks.
And the pitch is a little bit low. It's 2-1. Lance Berkman has never faced Tazawa, at least in the regular season. New experience seeing the split finger specialist. Pretty good fastball, pretty good splitter. A 26-year-old out of Yokohama, Japan. The 2-1 pitch coming to Berkman. There goes Andrus, and the pitch is fouled away. Well, it was a pretty good jump, and he'll have to retrace his steps as Berkman got a pitch to his liking and fouled it off. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Berkman back in the batter's box. Tazawa back on top of the hill. Was signed by the Red Sox in 2008. Spent part of 2009 and 2011 with the Red Sox. Right-hander back to the plate. Ripping a miss. And Berkman gone on strikes. Tazawa heated him up pretty well. One gone for Adrian Beltre. The Ford leaderboard for you. The most strikeouts in April. Roger Clemens back in '88 had 60 of them. Nolan Ryan with the Angels in '78 had 59. And then Yu Darvish this year with the Rangers had 58. It's the most recorded in Major League Baseball in the month of April. And we might remind folks that, prior to the 70s, I guess, April was not a full month in Major League Baseball. And even in the 80s, it wasn't a full month sometimes. Used to start play about the middle of the month of April, so you'd only have 10 or maybe 15 games. But still, those are records that are pretty impressive. Beltre, a rip and a miss, and it's 0-2.
He's got the same tight pitches that Koji has, only his fastball is about 4 or 5 miles an hour harder. Koji's splitter might be a little bit better. But together, same idea, fastball splitter.
Well, Adrian Beltre is 1 for 2 against Tazawa in his career, and that one left the ballpark. 0-2 pitch. Andrews on the run. Swing and a miss. The throw to second. And Pedroia couldn't hang on to it. Andrews is going to be safe at second. The ball stays in Pedroia's glove. It looked like they had Elvis. But that was not the case. The strikeout of Beltre for the second out. And Elvis, a stolen base, his 6th of the year.
There's that slow motion camera. Yeah, I think if he held on to the ball, he was. He's going to pick up the ball and try to tag him before Elvis gets back on the bag, but his foot is on the bag.
Yep.
Pedroia is trying everything he can to get that call, but Elvis's foot is touching the bag.
So 2 gone now. Andrews in scoring position. Here's A.J. Przinsky. And he takes strike 1. A.J. tonight, 1 for 3. Elvis Andrews at second after his 6th stolen base. A.J. trying to bring him home. Rangers leading by a pair. And pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Przinsky has had the most at-bats of anybody on the Ranger club against Tazawa. He is 3 out of 8 against the Red Sox right-hander with a double. A ball and a strike as Elvis gets his lead from second. Tazawa will check him. It's 1-2.
Red Sox late inning bullpen is really good. We talked about Tazawa and Uehara. They've also got Andrew Bailey, who is an excellent closer for Oakland as a setup guy. He's pitched 12 innings and struck out 20, giving up a 140 opponent's batting average. So you've got the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings covered right there. Joel Hanrahan has been the closer. Now he's struggled. He's given up 7 runs in 6 innings, so he may not be the closer all season long unless he figures it out. Bailey has also saved 5 games, so I guess both of them have worked as a closer. Bailey may have eased into that role.
1-2, the count to Przinsky. Inside, that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Elvis began the inning with a single to center. Lance Berkman struck out, then as Adrian Beltre struck out. Elvis swipes second base. And he's there with a 2-2 count now to Przinski. In the dirt, and the count has gone full. Well, AJ battling through this at bat, trying to get aboard to extend the inning. If he's able to, Nelly Cruz is ready in the on-deck circle. John Farrell, the Red Sox skipper, as Junichi Tazawa on the mound facing A.J. Przinski here in the 7th inning. Tazawa sets. And the payoff pitch on the way.
That's a tough combination. 95-mile-an-hour letter-high fastball and that good splitter that he throws. Also mixes in a curveball, but 95 with this pitch, probably around 85 with the other pitch. That's a tough pitch to foul off when you've seen the other pitch a couple times.
Sure is. Tazawa again okays the sign from Saltalamacchia. And once again the 3-2. And again, Przinski doing a good job of fouling off that heat.
AJ's always been a tough guy to strike out. I don't think he's ever struck out 80 times in a season. You can tell he's got good hand-eye coordination because he's never walked 30 times in a season. Generally going up there and putting the ball in play and making contact.
Tazawa will be working again with 3-2. Got him swinging. Got that one in on AJ. Couldn't do anything with it. So Tazawa gives up the leadoff single and strikes out the side. Well, the Rangers strand their 8th runner. We're going to the 8th. It's the Rangers 3, the Red Sox 1 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Tigers scored in 8 of 9 innings. They almost scored in every inning today against the Astros.
Top of the 8th inning. And Big Papi, David Ortiz starting things off. Tanner Scheppers back to the hill. The first pitch hit well to center field. Going back is Gentry. Still going back at the track. And makes the catch as he backs into the padding.
Well, Big Papi got jammed just enough to make sure that ball only went 400 feet instead of 420 feet. Got in on him just enough to keep it in the ballpark, it looked like. Either that or he just didn't get all of it. Couldn't really tell. I think if he did get all of it, though, it'd go farther than that.
So 1 pitch, 1 long out. Now Mike Napoli takes low and outside for ball 1. Knapp singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3 tonight. That snapped an 0 for 10 that he had going. So Napoli back to 275 with the average. And ball 2. Shepers came on in the 7th inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 out. And got Dustin Pedroia to ground out to Mitch Moreland. A very nice play by Moreland and Shepers covering first base. Fastball inside, got him. And Napoli taking a peek out of the mound. Not real thrilled about getting hit with a Shepers fastball.
Yeah, he knows he's not trying to hit him, but boy, when it comes in at 96 and drills you, it hurts enough to where you don't really think about what the intention was. You're just thinking about what it felt like. The ball wasn't even close. The last thing you're trying to do in a game you're trying to win in a 2-run game is bring the tying run to the plate.
Yep.
That ball just got away from Tanner.
You know, and part of the problem too, Matt Napoli was taking a strike. He had kind of relaxed, and when you relax, it's hard to, you don't react the same way.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, man on first, 1 out. Daniel Nava is 1 for 2. He was hit last time he was up there. That was by Alexi Ogando. He takes ball 1. Nava, an RBI single back in the 2nd, also flied to center field in the 4th inning. And Ron Washington going to go out in a little teaching moment for the Rangers skipper with Tanner Shepard. He didn't like the idea of falling behind Napoli 2-0 and hitting him, and now falling behind 1-0 to Daniel Nava. Now is the tying run, as Tom told you. Normally when Wash heads to the mound, it has something to do with the competitive nature of the individual on the mound. He wants to see it jacked up just a little bit, or refocused, whichever way you want to put it. The Shepard's now ready to work. 1 ball, no strikes to count. And Nava to left center field. Martin to the gap and makes the catch. Napoli was all the way to 2nd. He's retreating to 1st. He will make it with a slide, as Kinsler thought about throwing but decided against it. That is out number 2, and let's go over and say hello to Jim Knox again. Jim?
All right, Buzz, real quick, time for the Progressive fan of the game. I have to give it to the entire Bigham family because it was an early Mother's Day gift to Janine. A routine, usually annual event. Of course, the Rangers are out of town next Mother's Day. All 20 of them brought her to the game. Even Chili, the husband, who used to play for the Yankees, and you met Babe Ruth?
Yeah.
He gave you baseball?
Yeah.
All right, well, very good. Still got it. I'm supposed to know that, okay? Well, this is a lot better than Babe Ruth baseball. It's the Progressive bag for Janine. Right, Chili?
Let's get it over with.
Let's get it over with. I got you. I'm with you there, Chili. All right. Oh, man. This is great. Way to go, Chili. Way to go, Bigham family. Let's get it over with. Buzz and Tom.
Trying to watch the ball game.
Looping line drive right to Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, playing on the second base side of the bag. So that will do it. And after the visit by Ron Washington, things calm down a little bit. Red Sox strand a runner. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. Rangers 3, Red Sox 1. Fox Sports Southwest. Twitter poll. The results tonight. Question was, what's your favorite technological advancement in baseball TV broadcasting? And 43% of you picked the pitch tracker. 41% said the Fox box, and 16% the super slow-mo. So the pitch tracker, and it's the eye it keeps on umpires, wins out. Now we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rangers leading 3-1, and they will face an old familiar face in Koji Uehara.
I've described the season Koji's having. Throwing the ball great, 14 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Koji finished the year with the Rangers last year throwing the ball just like that, same type numbers. Very difficult to hit, didn't walk anybody, and struck out most of the guys he faced.
And the first pitch to Nelson Cruz is fouled back. It is 0-1.
High fastballs, low splitters. That's pretty much his game. Pretty good combination.
Koji, a 38-year-old now. Osaka, Japan native. And there's the splitter on the outside corner. It is 0-2. Rangers got Koji at the trade deadline in 2011. And he gets a called third strike here as Nelson Cruz, left standing at home plate like a statue. Says something to Jerry Davis that didn't change the call. And that is the first out.
I looked outside. Probably was. Close.
Well, between Tazawa and now Uehara, 4 straight Rangers have struck out.
Yeah. If I'm Nelly, I'm probably going to be a little upset with the umpire on that pitch.
Mitch Moreland takes a splitter on the outside corner. Mitch 1 for 2 tonight. Walk, a single, and a pop out. And Moreland, a broken back fly ball, hit pretty well to right field. Going back is Victorino. It's off the wall. A big turn at first, and Moreland's going to hang on with a broken bat single 350 feet from home plate. Now, you tell me that guy's not strong.
Just missed getting it up far enough and maybe getting it into the front row. As it is, it's not the first time we've seen that happen to Mitch. Beautiful play by Victorino off there, off the wall out there. Fielded it off the wall, and if Mitch had kept going, he would have been out because not much left. So there goes the ball, and almost went out of here. Let's see where it hit. Right off the bottom of the wall, and Victorino is right there and throws a strike to second base.
Unbelievable. Well, Mitch, 2 out of 3 tonight. He has a 1-out single here in the 8th inning. He is aboard for Craig Gentry. He looks at the first pitch outside for ball 1. Gentry 1 for 3, an RBI infield single in the 4th inning. On that play, there was also an error in the second run scored on that same play. A.J. Przinsky coming home, and that is the last time the Rangers have scored in this game. Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery, the Gentry single in that 4th inning. Middlebrooks, once he backed up, he had no chance to get Gentry. You talk about freaky fast. How many times have we seen this in a ball game when Craig Gentry just outruns everything?
Yeah, I think if Middlebrooks could have that play to do over again, he would have come in rather than go back. Have to realize who the runner is. He's going to make that play most of the time with almost every runner, except a guy like Gentry or Trout or Borges, guys like that. Ichiro. They just didn't have time to make it that way with Craig.
2-1 pitch is fouled off to the right. That evens the count. Gentry has never had an at-bat against Uehara during the regular season. Sure, he probably did in spring training, and pitchers are throwing batting practice down there. Hits this one wild to left field. Going back is Nava. He's at the track. He's looking up. Goodbye. Craig Gentry turning around. Koji Uehara, a 2-run home run. The Rangers lead 5-1.
Oh, have a nice day, Craig. Doing it with the speed and doing it with the power. One thing we saw from Koji that he could be a little bit prone to, and that was the long ball. That was a belt-high fastball out over the plate. And Craig Gentry's shown a little bit more muscle this year than last year. I think when Craig first got called up, that might have been right to the base of the wall, but got a little bit of a mechanical change to his swing, a little more strength, and he rode it right out of here. That feels good. Give the Rangers a little bit of breathing room.
And Leonis Martin, a big rip and a miss. It's 0-1. So Craig Gentry, his first home run of the year. Now, you remember when we were talking to him in spring training, he told you about that mechanical change that Dave Magadan had suggested he made. And he hit a couple of home runs in spring training that went a long way. I mean, came off of Gentry's bat. We're not used to seeing him hit the ball that far. We got run out of here. Martin trying to bunt his way aboard and just goes off into foul territory. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Well, the skipper, Ian Kinsler, and Craig Gentry.
Craig got a chance to start tonight because David Murphy was sick. Certainly took advantage of it. Where's the splitter where he wanted it to be?
Well, that is out number 2 here in the 8th inning, and it will bring up Ian Kinsler. Let's go once again to Rick Renner. Rick.
Hey guys, what a show we got coming up after the game. Rangers Live presented by Esurance. We will tell you how Ian Kinsler may have had revenge on his mind when he hit that leadoff home run. We'll take a look back at all the outstanding pitching, and it gets even better on Sunday. We'll hear from Ron Washington, Mac, and you guys. Join us after the game for Rangers Live presented by Esurance. Buzz?
All right, Rick. Here's Ian. And he takes the first pitch for strike 1. Kinsler, 1 for 4 tonight.
Uehara has given up 4 runs now, and 3 of them, 3 home runs. He's given up 2 runs on 2 solo shots, now a 2-run shot. He came in with a 1.54 ERA, pitched 12 innings, and given up 3 home runs. So he either strikes you out, but if you make some contact, you got a chance to hit it out of the ballpark.
And Kinsler chops that foul.
Mitchell went off the wall. I don't know how, but he did.
I don't either. I mean, I understand cracking a bat a little bit and having the ball jump, but that thing, the bat broke in half, and the ball still went 350 feet.
Which means he had to hit it near the good part of the bat. I don't think he could, traditionally you hit a ball off the handle or right off the end of the bat, and you can break it maybe like that. But if you do hit it like that, I don't think even Mitch could hit one that far. So he must have hit it near the good part of the bat, which makes you wonder what kind of wood was it if it would break right in half like that.
Kinsler skies one to shallow right field. Victorino in and toward the line. Makes the catch, and that'll do it. But Craig Gentry, with his first home run of the year, a 2-run blast, gives the Rangers some breathing room. As the Rangers scored twice in the 8th. We're going to the 9th. Texas 5, Boston 1. Fox Sports Southwest. of this series, AT&T telling you that tomorrow afternoon will be the finale of this 3-game set with the Red Sox. We'll be with you at 2 o'clock on Fox Sports Southwest. Yu Darvish and John Lester, the principals for tomorrow afternoon's game. It should be a dandy. Rangers have expanded the lead to 4 runs, and even though it's not a save situation, that's within Ron Washington's field for bringing in the closer. So Joe Nathan will be asked to come on and finish things up here in the 9th inning.
Joe 8 for 8 when he does have save opportunities. Last time Joe pitched was on the 26th. That was at Minnesota, so he could use the work.
And the first pitch to Will Middlebrooks is a strike on the outside corner. Rangers, by the way, have not lost a game this year when they've led after 8 innings. They have closed them all out. Perfect 8 for 8 is Joe Nathan in save situations. The team is 9 for 9, and they are also 17-0 when leading after 8 frames. 9-0 here at home. 0-2 pitch. Huge foul into the seats. We'll try it again. Joe sporting a little extra beard and getting that facial hair going. Middlebrooks 1 for 3 tonight. Nathan tried the breaking ball and missed. It's 1-2. Rangers 5 runs on 10 hits. Red Sox 1 run on 7 hits. Kind of the same story of last night so far for the Rangers as far as timely hitting. There you go. There's a strikeout for out number 1 here in the 9th inning. Offense doing the damage with 10 hits tonight. They had 18 last night with 10 runs on the board. And the pitching, of course, the shutout last night. They've only allowed 1 run here this evening. Now here's Stephen Drew with the bases empty and 1 away. Drew 0 for 2 with a walk. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th inning. Advanced as far as 3rd, but Tanner Scheppers came on to strand him there. As Nathan misses just off the outside corner. It is ball 1. Lexi Ogando in the Ranger dugout looking to move to 3-2 if Nathan can close this thing out. Lexi, 6 innings of work, 6 hits, and 1 run.
Yeah, he battled his way through 6 innings. Made a lot of good pitches, worked out of a couple of jams.
2-1. Saw Derek Holland next to Alexi. Derek, outstanding 8 shutout innings last night. Two and 1. The count to Drew. And that evens things up. Veteran closer Joe Nathan into the wind, and Drew fouls back that next pitch. Nathan, of course, last year 37 saves for the Rangers. The 38-year-old right-hander in his first year in a Texas uniform. 66 appearances in 2012. Again, the 2-2 pitch. That's a bit low, and the count has gone full. But Drew hitting in the number 9 spot. He will be followed by the top of the order, and that means Jacoby Ellsbury. Payoff pitch from Nathan. In the air, center field. Moving toward left center, or right center, I should say, is Craig Gentry. He runs it down. That is out number 2. And the Red Sox down to their final out. And Nathan able to keep the ball in the ballpark on that 3-2 pitch. And did exactly what you would think a veteran pitcher would do, and that's throw a good strike. Ranger fans cheering the Rangers on to what would be another series win. They can win the game here tonight. 47,173, and they are on their feet here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. A strike to Ellsbury. Ellsbury 2 for 4 this evening. 292 average as he faces Nathan. Out of play to the left. It is 0-2. Alexi Ogando looking to move to 3-2, and Joe Nathan looking to close this out. Ron Washington and Jackie Moore waiting to see if their ball club can win its 19th game of the year. No balls and 2 strikes. Nathan back to the plate. 1-2. Nathan nods in agreement. And the pitch. Got him swinging. Nathan, a pair of strikeouts in a perfect 9th inning. And the Rangers win their 19th game of the year. They're now 19-11. And they give the Red Sox a 2-game losing streak, I should say. Red Sox are now 20-10. Creeping closer and closer to that best record in all of baseball. The Rangers win their 2nd in a row over the Red Sox. They are now 10-4 at home, and they now have a 2.5-game lead in the American League West. Alexi Ogando goes to 3-2 for the season. A good job by Ross, Sheppers, and Nathan coming in to preserve the victory with 3 shutout innings and allowing just 1 base hit.
That was a good win all the way around. Joe throws the fastball by Ellsbury to end the ball game. You mentioned the pitching, and Craig Gentry had the big day offensively for the Rangers. He had the infield hit with the bases loaded to drive in the go-ahead run, and then he hit the 2-run homer off Uehara in the 8th inning to make it a 4-run game. So 3 RBIs for Craig in the game, getting the start because David Murphy was sick, and taking advantage of that start against a right-hand pitcher and having a big game.
And right now, let's go down to Emily Jones, who has our star of the game.
Thank you very much. Well, Craig, you always talk about being ready when called upon. Tonight, a prime example of that for you.
Yeah, definitely coming to the ballpark today. I didn't expect to be in the lineup, but you got, like I said, you got to always be ready, and your name's called, you got to go out there and give everything you have.
Your speed obviously huge in the field today. It obviously came into play with that infield single. Just talk about how you can use that as a weapon.
Well, I mean, that's definitely not how you draw it up, but that was big right there, and we were able to get some runs across and let Alexi do his thing. And
I saw Elvis flashing the muscles after the home run there in the 8th. I know Joe Nathan was happy about those insurance runs. Just talk about the home run.
Well, I just tried to slow it down and get a good pitch to swing at, and luckily I was able to get a ball up and square it up.
A little more power in you this year?
I like to think so, but still not a home run hitter.
All right. Craig Gentry, congratulations. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Emily. Good job down there with Craig Gentry. Obviously, very happy about the outcome of this ball game and his role in it. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Ford. Take the EcoBoost Challenge at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. And by Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. We will be back to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington to wrap things up for you after this 5-1 Ranger victory right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.